Welcome to the bold analysis. The worst mistake that William Ruto did was to settle on Cleophas Malala as the Secretary General of UDA party. And clearly, the scenes of Mombasa scuffle between Mohamed Jichopevu and Hassan Omar is a clear information that Malala was the worst choice for that job. Tonight, I want us to go behind the headline to look at the infighting within the UDA party, the events of the day. I've really tried to take time to speak to a couple of journalists who attended the Mombasa meeting, the botched Mombasa meeting, and I have a very clear perspective of what exactly transpired in the coastal region. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I would want to remind you that we are finishing up on our fundraiser to support the Children's Home in Dagoretti, the 50 Bob Challenge. We are going to do that donation tomorrow on Sunday at 2. So if you do a donation between now and until 2, it will really still go into this. So kindly, we are still finishing up. We are, I think, short of the target by around 20,000. I think 25,000 if I'm not wrong. And we believe that we can still pull together and support the children in that center. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened in Mombasa is very unfortunate, but it's very intentional. I'm not very good in Swahili, but there is a methali I used to remember that used to say, Vita vya panzi furaha ya kunguru. I'm trying to get some few methali because the analysis is about Mombasa, and Mombasa are good people in Swahili. I wish I would be double updates. I would have done it in Swahili. And so, clearly, what happened there is a party that bragged and told this country that their fabric is peace is now breaking right in the middle and is the center of violence. But what exactly happened? UDA printed 800 cards for delegates, and that meeting was organized by the UDA executive team, the UDA Secretary General, and the executive office of the party. So they divided 300 cards were given to Hassan Omar, who is the interim vice chair of the party. Then another 300 cards were given to Mohamed Jichopevu. Then the other 200 that were remaining were supposed to be divided amongst the officials. Your guess will actually tell you very clear that because Hassan Omar is one of the officials and the meeting is in his county, he had an upper hand of bringing more delegates in that meeting compared to Mohamed Jichopevu. But so, immediately they got the hall, something happened. There was many other fake cards that were printed, and the number overwhelmed the hall. But inside the hall is where I am convinced that Mohamed Jichopevu faction might have planted the classified audience to chant out, to make sure that they chant out Hassan. This video has been shared by the MP himself in his Twitter page. You need to look at it here. So that is people, the audience there was charged and probably organized crowd to make sure that they chant the name of chant out the name of Hassan Omar. And Hassan is already in war, and in war with Mohamed Jichopevu. For people who follow the Bold, I think I was the only analyst that raised the issue of the fallout between Hassan Omar and Mohamed Jichopevu, and I think I shared it in this channel. So I think for the followers of the Bold, you are so much acquainted. If you've watched that video is in this channel. I think I shared it. I analyzed this a week ago. So clearly there was that fallout that had been there before, and I will play for you the soundbite, the reaction of Sarai and both Sarai and Mohamed Hassan, because we also need to be fair and give coverage to both. But inside the hall, a police officer, not yet confirmed, someone lobbed tear gas inside the hall. And if you look at now, like the videos you're seeing here, is a video of how there was total chaos there. The meeting never happened. It was botched, and it is very clear that someone did not want that meeting to happen. Someone did not want that meeting to happen, because I will still believe that after maybe the whole issue is addressed and the calm was restored, maybe the meeting would have continued, but the audience was charged. One of the things that has been happening here is clearly the decision by UDA party to pick Hassan Omar as the vice chair of the party maybe did not sit well with Mohamed Jichopevu. And why so? This is because, number one, because he's the vice chair, he has an influence, the interim vice chair, he has an influence on the upcoming UDA grassroots elections. So probably, and they're actually saying that both of them have their preferred candidates who should be the UDA county chairperson, or rather the constituency chairperson. Probably the county chairperson, both of them will be vying for that position. Both Mohamed Jichopevu and also Hassan Omar. It is very easy. It is not very easy to build a party. It is not very easy. This trend has been going on, and I think what happened in Mombasa is a clear indication that UDA is not going anywhere. I'll get into this. Let's get the reaction of Sarai in respect to what happened there, in response to what happened there.
Na kuomba Malala, kumekuwa na changamoto zaidi. Mmoja wa bunge hapa anataka sana mtu fulani afanywe mwenyekiti bila election. Sisi twasema tutakuwa na election na kila mtu ako na hiari na uhuru wa kusimamia election, awe anatoka pembeni yoyote ya Kenya, anaitwa jina lolote, awe ni kabila yoyote, awe ni rangi yoyote, tutajenga Mombasa ya watu wote. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kuhakikishia kwamba hakutakuwa na mapendeleo na watu wote washikamane kwa pamoja ili tuhakikishe tumejenga chama cha UDA.
Now, that is Sarai. On the other hand, when you listen to Mohamed Jichopevu, because listen to their reaction over that, Mohamed Jichopevu first, if you check his Twitter page, he's talking more about how the people of Mombasa showed their support to him. I've just seen, amused by the outpouring support today at UDA's function in Mombasa. It's your voices, your hopes, and your dreams that guide me each day. He seems to have taken a position that there was a bit of that supremacy battle on who is supposed to be, or rather who is more senior than the other. And if you look at the way he responded, he's saying about how Hassan was supported by Sonko himself and the other UDA members, especially when he was vying for the governor. It clearly shows you that the whole thing is about an election that is coming.
Alisaidiwa na Mohamed Ali. Mimi ndio nilimpeleka kwa rais. Tukamleta hapa, nikamsaidia, akasaidiwa na Soko, akasaidiwa na Alimbogo, akasaidiwa na wabunge 56, akapewa zaidi ya milioni 186. Alikula pesa zote, leo na Arudi tena kutuambia chama ni yake. Tutamuonyesha hii chama ni ya nani, na UDA tutatoka asilimia 44 tufike mpaka asilimia 100 liwalo na liwe. Nataka kuhakikishia wana UDA, certificate ya UDA haitoki kwa Hassan Sarai. Certificate ya UDA inatoka kwa wananchi wa Jamhuri ya Kenya na hawa wananchi wa Mombasa. Kwa hivyo kama ana hila, maana anashindana, sijui anashindana nani, kama ana hila ya kutibua mikutano kwa sababu hana ajenda, hana lolote, mimi namwambia wewe focus na Arusha. Tulikupeleka huko kwa msitu, utulie huko, uangalie mambo ya East Africa. But if you want to come back here kwa sababu ya kuharibu chama, hiyo hatutakubali. Leo mkutano mimi kwangu it was a very successful one. Tumejua ni nani ndio mbaya, tumejua ni nani hataki chama, na tumemjua Sarai kutoka zamani.
It is quite absurd and very shameful that members of the ruling coalition, or rather the ruling party, are the ones that have gone back to the campaign trail 8 months after the general election, while the members of the ruling party are the ones that currently are the custodian of people's hope. I don't know what has happened immediately, because people seems to have gone back to look for votes. In Bungoma, Didym's Baraza announced gubernatorial bid and just started right away. In Mombasa, things are not easy. In my next podcast, I'm going to take you to Murang'a. So the members of the ruling party are supposed to fulfill the plan. But it is these fellows that have gone back to the campaign too early, to say the truth. And you know, I'm not equally shocked, because they're just learning it from President William Ruto himself. Since he was sworn into office, the president has been campaigning about 2027. So be it appointments, the vector is for 2027. Be it events that are being organized on Sunday, it's just about the election. And himself, he started campaigning immediately. They got the second term with Uhuru Kenyatta. He started campaigning, and he campaigned for the 4 years. So even these politicians that are from his school of politics seems to have started immediately. But that has also caused some violence. And that is why, if you look at Isiolo, there was violence. In Mombasa, there is violence. I think in some other county, I think even in Migori, there was some sort of violence. So is really the responsibility that UDA SG is doing, does he hold the grip? Is he holding it? Or the interests are now just above everything? It is a very clear point here that we normally say this, and sometimes we are really blamed. UDA is committed to publicize that party by making sure that this country is on electioneering mode. So why should someone attack opposition and call about mass actions of violence while themselves they are causing violence? In Kericho, MCS incited the community to attack the tea farms, total violence. In Mombasa, UDA party, violence. And there was a destruction of property, by the way. In Isiolo, UDA party, violence. So will they survive the turmoil? Is it by design? I may be wrong, but I do honestly think that where William Ruto is seated, he's also feeling like UDA is getting the limelight, and publicity is publicity. Maybe, you know, that will be it. I have seen this violence in these areas, and I can tell you, President William Ruto is staring at a fall of that party. And what will crumble UDA party down are these three things I want to talk about. One of them is grassroots elections will be the center of the crack, because it will actually crack the party. Because looking at, do you know Jubilee Party never did grassroots elections? Do you know that? They never did. The only party, Mgalewe Hakimpe, that has ever conducted grassroots election is ODM Party. Yes, and it has survived all that. So with that, because of that, there is a lot of interest that is coming, and just that grassroots election on who is going to become the county chairman and this and that is one of the reasons that is there. Number two, UDA was built on a very weak foundation. I want to expound this, and I want to compare it with ODM. If Raila Odinga will have become president in 2013, ODM will not be there. And I want to tell you why. ODM was entrenched as a party that is fighting for the liberation of the people. It was a party, immediately it was formed towards the 2007 general election. Then we had a lowest moment there. And then Raila became the PM. He continued through. For the last 10 years, ODM party has been in the benches fighting for the people's rights. That has been their projection, or that has been their their position. It was passively viewed as the opposition party. Now as we speak, the UDA party was formed on economic liberation foundation, and it was a very weak foundation that even those around it never believed in it. The hustler story is no longer potent in the next general election, because even those who spoke about it just did the sloganeering to make sure that they cover the truth, the lie, and the explanation. They wanted to cover everything. So it was never built. The ideology is not there. And because of lack of that ideology, I can tell you, people revert back to other forms of mobilization. And that is why I can tell you that one thing that is happening. Then lastly, what will crumble UDA party is post-Ruto politics that has started to emerge. There are those who have started positioning themselves. Are they going to be the DP? Are they going to be the president? Are they going to survive without it? And post-Ruto politics is actually coming in 2027. 2027 is going to be very delicate, because there are people that want to put their own people and they want to kill other political ambitions so that they make sure they get their way. It is dancing. It is not easy. And as what we think, I have a feeling Malala is not up to the task. And my next podcast will still be tied on this. So make sure you watch, and thank you very much for purposing to support our tomorrow's event in Nemaland, supporting the vulnerable in that orphanage. Thank you.